Friday, May 17th. Aftershocks. Quite probably I've screwed up, though I don't suppose I've screwed up irrevocably. I came, I saw, I ran away. I'm obviously not going to make a point of reporting this to Father Lufra. It's also obvious that I have to get back on Adderley's trail. Later. Herr Reichman isn't registered at the hotel, and the barman who introduced us says he'd never seen him before. I didn't really expect it to be that easy. The concierge looked up Durbau and learned that it opens at 3 in the afternoon, information that proved to be false or outdated. It opened, rather reluctantly it seemed to me, at around 5:30. The staff on hand for this event didn't have enough English to be of any help, but they managed to make it clear that they would send me someone named Harry if I'd sit down and wait for an hour or so. I sat down and waited for an hour or so, and surprisingly enough, they sent me someone named Harry, who turned out to be an Englishman, or maybe a German who had schooled in England. I told him I was trying to find Charles Adderley. "The name isn't familiar to me, I'm afraid," said Harry. "The man who spoke here last night," I said. "Ah, is that his name?" I looked at him incredulously. "You don't know his name?" "I don't know that one." "What do you mean?" Harry shrugged. "The name I know may not be a name at all. He's known as B." "B? B as in boy?" "That's right." "Why does he call himself that?" Harry gave me the sort of smile you give a toddler who inquires about Santa's elves. I asked him where I might find him. "No idea at all," said Harry. "Do you know where he might be speaking next?" "No." I thought for a moment. "How did you happen to book him into Durbau?" He frowned over this question as if I might be approaching the boundary between curiosity and presumptuousness. "This isn't Caesar's palace here, my friend. Arrangements are made in all sorts of ways and are usually very offhand. We don't go through any process you would recognize as booking acts." "But you must have had some way of reaching him." "We might have had, and if you put a gun to my head, I might be able to dig it up, but short of that, I'm not likely to." He shrugged again. "That's just the way it is. This isn't a missing persons bureau, and I've got other things to do." I told him I understood, thanked him anyway, and got up to leave. "Come back later," Harry said. "You can always find people to talk to if you're buying drinks, and someone in the crowd may know more than I do about this guy." I thanked him again and went back to the hotel. Sitting here in my room, sitting, pacing, staring out the window, it suddenly popped into my memory that, when the heroes of fairy tales don't know what to do, they just sit down and weep. In the same circumstances, a modern hero can slug somebody or go out and get drunk, but can never just sit down and weep. I've read enough detective stories to know I should go pry some information out of somebody, but whom? Sitting here staring at this notebook, it finally occurred to me that is something I've avoided doing. And that's reading the talk I took down in my other notebook last night at Durbau. I confess to having a strong reluctance to do that. Interesting, I remember the title of the talk, The Great Forgetting, but I've forgotten what the Great Forgetting is. I haven't really forgotten it, of course, but I've shut the door of my memory on it, which means that... Saved by the telephone bell, as I should have been. When the hero sits down and weeps because he doesn't know what to do, the fairy tale universe sends magical helpers. Mine wasn't very magical, but he was certainly mysterious. I think I can put it all down verbatim. "Hello? Father Osborne?" "Yes, who is this?" "What the devil do you think you're doing?" "What? Do you understand what you're supposed to be doing here?" "Who is this?" I was led to expect someone marginally competent. It was impossible to miss the drift of the conversation, and I was certainly getting the rough end of it. I tried to rally a bit of self-defense. "I don't know who you are who appointed you my house mother, but I know who I am. I'm a parish priest. If you were expecting James Bond, either you were misled or you misled yourself." "Does being a parish priest mean you live in a coma?" "I'm sorry to have been a source of disappointment for you." With that crusher, I hung up, something I don't think I've done to a caller since junior high. There's nothing to beat it when your back is against the wall. As expected, he called back immediately. "The girl is sick," he told me, sounding as if nothing had happened. "The girl is dying." "What?" For a second, I thought he was giving me a password of some kind. Maybe I was supposed to reply with, "But the swallows will return to Caspertano anyway." Luckily, I caught myself and said, "You mean the one who is signing?" "Of course. Didn't you see her face?" "I saw her face. I just didn't realize it was... What is it? Lupus?" "Lupus isn't fatal, is it?" "It's scleroderma, or possibly mixed connective tissue disease. They're all in the same family, including lupus. It's an autoimmune collagen disease, degenerative, incurable." "Okay, and what am I supposed to do with this information?" "Radnow has a research facility devoted to the study and treatment of collagen diseases. That's what the two of them are doing in Central Europe. Radnow is the center of the circle, 90 kilometers south of Hamburg." "So what are you saying? When in doubt, head for Radnow?" "When in doubt, remember that Radnow is the center of the circle." Somebody could have told me this at the outset. My caller sighed. It made him sound almost human. "Somebody could have told it to me too, but nobody did. I dug it out for myself." This news did not make me happy, but I managed to keep it to myself. I said, "That brings me back to my original question. Who the hell are you? And if you're taking care of this, what am I supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be leading, and I'm supposed to be following. You're not even supposed to know I'm here. Why am I not supposed to know you're here? I don't know. Maybe the idea is not to tax your powers of dissimulation, or maybe the idea is to make you take some initiative." "Fuck you, Charlie," I said. Some people are shocked when they hear a cleric talk as dirty as a third grader, but this one just waited. "Listen," I told him, "I'm not a detective, I admit it. I could use some help." "Not from me. Get out there and do some work." The line went dead.